What's up, gamers? It's Nightghost 1400. Been a minute, been a hot minute since my last mapping update video, and that's because I haven't really been mapping recently. I've been worried and concerned with things like college and competing in melee were primarily the things I was focusing on over these past 5 months. But recently, I just got back into it, and I was working on my completely new game mode idea, which was my Counter-Strike MOBA, and I just play tested it today, and it went. It was a thing. So yeah, let me just do a past night ghost video, which explains like the kind of general idea of the game mode, how it works, how it functions. Throw it back to past night ghost. Hello everybody, my name is Nightghost 1400, and today I'm going to show you my MOBA game mode, Phoenix Canyon, also known as Counter-Strike Battle Arena. The game mode is entirely based off of traditional MOBA style games. You see, the reason why I developed it was because I felt like there wasn't really a true first-person shooter MOBA pairing together that I think was really a reflection of what the games were about. You see a lot of third-person MOBA games like Smite, but nothing really truly first-person. So the main goal of the game, my developing of this, was that I've always had an interest in MOBAs, but I always hated how MOBAs played. So I decided to develop this game mode with my limited knowledge of the source engine to try to closely recreate how MOBAs actually felt. So, of course, the main goal, as you can kind of see here, is there's kind of 3 lanes. It's a kind of circularly symmetrical map. And the goal here is, similarly to in something like League of Legends or Smite, is you have these towers with completely bulletproof doors. Your goal is to push in past these barriers. This is the limiting barrier. Once you pass here, you start taking damage. And your goal is to push in and destroy the towers by destroying this glass pane. Once you destroy that glass pane, the damaging area will disappear, and you can allow you to push further into the map to the next one, ultimately leading you all the way back to the, I guess, nexus, which is this glass pane here. You destroy this, and you claim victory for your team. Now, I also implemented other MOBA elements into the game, that being the money gaining system. The main way to gain money is both by killing your opponents, destroying towers, or destroying these middle crystals. There are at most 10 crystals on the map at any given time. They have around 50 HP, and on destruction, they will grant you $200. That means there are at most $2,000 worth of money on the map in crystal form at any given time. All these crystals are placed within middle. And now, why would you want to have money? Well, that's for the unique buy room. Once you've earned enough money, you can spend it in your buy room. The buy room, instead of functioning as a CSGO traditionally does by using the buy menu, instead it uses this room. In a tier-based system, the tiers are not linked to each other, so you can buy any tier at any time, but each tier is individually linked to a certain amount of weapons. For instance, tier 0, once I could just walk up to it and press E, will take away $500 as that's much it costs, and I will permanently unlock access to the P250 and dual Berettas for my entire team for the rest of the game. I could also skip a tier like tier 1000, as maybe I'm not so interested in this level of gun, and go straight to tier 2, and that will be announced to the entire server, and I can unlock the MAC 10 or the PV buys and the UMP for the rest of my team. In Spot is also where you can get items such as Kevlar, smokes, and utility, and maybe even a health shot. It's also important to note that these are not permanent items. If you die with armor, you don't respawn with armor back on again. You'll have to rebuy the armor. So this is all somewhat expensive in terms of, well, everything here. So it's just a little something to keep in mind for when you're running. A little tip for all y'all, grenades are the safest way to deal damage on towers in this game mode. The only other way of dealing damage other than with grenades is to run up into a tower's damage zone and shoot and dump a whole mag into it essentially. One easy way of doing this is, of course, the Molotov. Molotovs deal a good amount of damage to towers, same with frag grenades. However, the Molotov can be extinguished, and just a Molotov frag grenade combo won't do it by itself. You have to run up and deal some more damage with the Mac 10 or any weapon that you have. And as you can see, now that the tower's glass is destroyed, the area no longer does damage to me, and now I am opened up to push into here. Another interesting thing on the map that I wanted to recreate from MOBAs was teleporting back to spawn. Traditionally, in a MOBA, you'll have a button that will give you a certain amount of time to teleport, and then once you fully cast it, you'll be teleported back to your spawn. Instead, to recreate that, we have these teleport posts placed on the map. There are about 2 of these per team area. Now, this one teleports back to T-spawn. I am a CT, which means that if I try to use it, I die. However, this teleporter, which is in CT spawn, I can use because I am a CT. Now, one thing you're probably wondering about and probably seen out of the corner of your eye are these little air node hint blocks. If you're wondering what these are actually health kits. They will heal up to 50 health on the map, and they will respawn after a short period of time. They are using a temporary model right now. I don't have access to the full one, or I did, but I kind of fucked up. So we're using the air node hits for that. These are kind of all around the map in certain locations. Primarily, should be 2 per side, one in the left lane and one in the right lane, and then 2 more in mid, so that should be around 6 hints in total, and they are also inside of your spawn in order to fully heal you once you teleport back to your spawn point. You also have at least 6 of these ammo replenish buttons on the map. This is just so that you don't have to run all the way back to spawn whenever you want to get more ammo. There's at least 1 per your side of the lane, and there's also a ammo replenish in your spawn. But it's still somewhat easier to go for these ammo replenishes outside of just heading back to spawn. Now, the ultimate goal of this game mode is to destroy this final tower within your opponent's base. This has around 1,000 health, I believe, or 700, and it is the ultimate goal. It sits right outside your enemy spawn. Your goal is to just shoot this glass here until it breaks, but you can't really push into the spawn as this line kind of marks the instant death barrier. Or at least it deals a lot of freaking damage. So yes, once you use all your resources to destroy the enemy tower, you win the game. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the game mode. Peace out. Alright, yeah, so that's how it was kind of supposed to function, right? Destroy crystals, get money, and then once you get enough money, you unlock weapons, and then once you do that, you destroy towers, and eventually you destroy the next. All that. Good. Well, what ended up happening was complete and utter chaos. I'm talking complete chaos. Like, people got, like, MP9s by, like, 3 minutes in. People had AKs by, like, 4 minutes, and the game was over by 9 minutes. Which, if you play any MOBAs, is, like most MOBAs will last 45 minutes. And that's, like, a good runtime of a MOBA. That's, like, a good, nice, like, 9 minutes. It went on for 9 minutes. So, clearly, there's a lot of problems with the game mode. So let's tackle these one at a time. And one things that I just noticed. I watched the demo a couple of times. I'm gonna have the demo running in the background of this part. So first thing, money. It's way too abundant in this game mode. I'm talking. I thought $200 and 10 crystals was like a good amount of money. You know, that's like a kind of crazy amount of money. You know, if people play nice and patiently, maybe they won't be able to. No, it was absolutely nuts. Like people were getting money so fast in the game mode, so fast. Like initially, each crystal had a 25-second respawn time. There were 10 crystals. Each of them drop uh, around each of them dropped $200. So I'm like, that's a good amount of money. You know, I think it will be a nice slow and steady increase. But what I failed to consider was how quickly people were dying. People were dying super quickly, super fast, constant death. So people were getting a lot of money really quickly, and then you unlock like something like an SMG that's $600 per kill, and you consider that death rate that is happening, like people, like because respawn times were instant, so basically, people were dying left and right, and on top of that, it was just a constant like respawn, like instant respawning. So people were just kind of throwing their lives away because they kind of knew that they could get away with it. So like people had basically gotten the best guns in the game by minute 5, like by minute 5 or minute 4 of the game. So it was just absolutely nuts. So that brings up two topics. First of all, I'm gonna drop crystals down, crystal money drop rates to like $50. So that will be a whole lot like easier to work with. Uh, and I'm also going to increase respawn times from like it's basically like 1 second to like 5 to 7 seconds. Maybe do something where like increases the longer the match goes on. But I think 5 to 7 seconds is a good idea. Um, just for like artificially increasing the length of the game time, because like you gotta imagine like that amount of things happening in like the span of like 9 minutes. I basically just condensed like a 40-minute like game of Smite or League of Legends into 9 minutes. It was absolute chaos. So the next thing, tower health. It was extremely easy for a single player to just go in with like an MP9 or a Mac 10 and like less than 2 magazines just destroy a tower without using any utility, because tower health is like 500, like 500 HP, and like that's I thought it would be good enough, but it was not high enough. It was way too easy for a player to just destroy a tower. So I'm gonna bump that up to like 1,000 to 1,200 HP for the next playtest. Next thing is the lack of information. Information was super lacking this playtest. Like you had like things like you being alerted when the opposing team bought and leveled up into a new tier of weapon. But the problem is you didn't have alerts for when your towers were getting attacked or when your nexus was getting attacked. So it was like super easy. Like that kind of builds off of like the low HP values of the towers. Like it was super easy for a player to run in and destroy the towers, but destroy the towers really quickly. But it was also easy to run in and destroy the towers undetected because there was no alert system. The reason why I didn't do an alert system initially is because that requires V-scripting, and I only know a couple of people who would be willing to do the V-scripting for me. So, because they would have to do it for me, that being Sir Thomas, maybe Top Hat Waffle, but he's usually busy and doing his own thing, and probably would be like, "Hey, you gotta pay me, you gotta pay me, buddy." So I would have to kind of pay him to do all that, and maybe I'll have to pay him. Maybe I'll talk to some other people who could do some V scripting to like help me at least get a base thing, an alert. So like I want to get an alert for when your tower when a tower is taking damage, and an alert for when it's being destroyed. A couple of the things that were pointed out to me by someone like Umbrella pointed out that maybe I should start putting things like ammo replenish stations and health kits on the radar as well. I might also figure out a much easier way, maybe a way that like the tower itself will appear on the radar and disappear when it's been destroyed, so it's easy to just kind of glance at your radar to tell like, oh, this tower is gone. So I had to be more concerned about that. Um, yeah, that's kind of the main things, which is like increasing the HP of towers. I also need to put like a damage area around the Nexus, because right now there isn't really a damage area parented to the Nexus, so it's really easy to just kind of sneak in. That's kind of what Wynel did at the end of this game, is he kind of snuck in behind enemy lines and then kind of jumped up and just dumped like a mag and a half into the Nexus. It was really easy for him to destroy the Nexus. The Nexus needs way more HP because it was way too easy for him to just do that. So, but I do see potential in the game mode. Like, I saw some moments of like brilliance where I'm like, oh my god, this is working. People are getting excited. Like, people are like Wynell's very emotive, like, no, our tower, it's gonna go down. I'm like, yes, that's how you should be feeling. Yeah, let's go. So like, yeah, I think the game mode has potential. I think the lack of information about the inner workings of the game mode was a big struggle for a lot of people. I think money was too low, as well as tower health, so the game mode just progressed really, really quickly. Also, we were only able to get 4 people for this playtest. Not only were we only able to get 4 people for this playtest, but it took an hour to get 4 people per team on the playtest, only for the game to last 9 minutes. And also, once we finally had gotten, like, we were waiting for that one person to join forever, and then when that one person finally joined, we started the playtest. Halfway through the playtest, somebody joins, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Couldn't you have shown up like earlier, bruh?" And then they joined the team, and there was a 5v4. We still lost though, because but I think it was pretty fun. I think everybody had fun because it was kind of like a chaotic mess of like just everything happening so fast. But now I have all these ideas swimming in my head. Like I definitely saw some problems with like the actual map layout and design itself. But right now, what I'm more concerned about is less the map design and the layout of everything, and more the I'm less concerned about like the map design, the layout, and more of the actual inner workings of the game mode itself, producing an actual functional game mode. And once the game mode itself is gotten to that point where it actually is working with everything around it, then I can start working on the map design and making sure everything functions together and everything kind of gels together as a map itself. So, what do we learn? Well, I have a lot to work on in terms of the map design and the game mode design, but I think I have a lot of ideas of just ways to make it slightly better. Also, Yuhori abused an exploit where normally you had to unlock the fucking like gates in order to actually be able to purchase items, but he just realized that if you just shoot it, it penetrates through it, and you could just get a gun. So he just got like a Krieg like immediately and started shooting us, but then he was like, "All right, I'm not gonna use that anymore because it's dumb." But that was kind of funny. Fuck you, Gihori. Fucking dumbass mod. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. That's how the playtest went. I think by the time I finish recording this, the playtest is almost over as you're kind of watching it. So yeah, it was really fun. I'm still gonna keep working on it. I have ideas of ways to kind of artificially fix it and fix the game mode. I think this was a successful playtest. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I'll update you guys on the next time I run a playtest like this. I think next time I run a playtest, it's gonna be because by time I playtested at 12, and it kind of didn't get that many players. But I think if I run it at 2 my time, then it should be a whole lot better. So once again, thank you for watching. If you want to subscribe to the workshop version, it's going to be in the description down below. I'll should be posting more at mapping update videos because as I work on this, it's going to get more and more better and better as time goes on. And I'm really excited to work on this now that it actually functioned and people kind of enjoyed it. I just need to work on announcements and all, like announcing. So basically, making money more scarce, making towers harder to destroy, making announcements and information about tower status actually easier to gather, and that should be it. So yeah. I will see you guys next time.